Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. Kiss up to God. To God be the glory for all the wonderful works that He does. Thank you, God, for another do over. Thank you, God, for another day to get it right. Thank you, God, that we're in the land of the living. Thank you for those brand new grace and brand new mercies that you allow, Father. And Father, Lord, thank you, family and friends. And if we have the opportunity to say, I'm sorry, Lord, grant us the opportunity because I'm sorry can restore and recover a whole lot of things. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Jennifer Brooks. I'm your Southern Belle, and I'm so grateful to be on today. Continuing my Black history as promised. Today, we're going to talk about Canton, Mississippi. Hmm. Freedom House. And I had notes about this. I can't find them anywhere. And so I'm gonna have to like read from the website because with notes, you add something, you take something away, try to keep it, interesting. But hey, it is what it is. I can't ride with you, honey. Okay. Canton, Mississippi. Canton, Mississippi. In the early 60s stood a wooden house that served as refuge during the highlight of the civil rights movement in Canton. The grandson of the couple who opened the house shared why he decided to preserve it. It was the courage of two brave black business owners in Canton at the time who decided to open their house to be the possibility of change. Once those doors opened, civil rights advocates from all over the South came to conduct the work inside the house that would one day rewrite history for people of color. It's history, a grandson said, should be told from generations. And that's why I'm telling it. There are roots all over this house. Someone in my family made a contribution in some kind of way to connect to something that went on in this house, said Glenn Cotton, the owner of the Canton's Freedom House. If you walk inside the 67-year-old structure today, the first thing you will see is a wall lined with historical documents, photos of civil rights trailblazers and unsung heroes, vintage typewriters, a shot, a three slot payphone, and an old record player with artifacts that should still be on display. In 1963, Glenn Cotton's grandparents, George and Rimberg, I hope I'm saying that right, Washington, owned the grocery store that had that they had for years. It was located on George Washington Avenue. Right next door, they owned a home which had been built in 1958 and served as a sandwich shop until the early 60s. Glenn's said his uncle, who attended Tigaloo College, met a freedom rider by the name of George Raymond from New Orleans. He was the leader of the CORE, which is the Congress of Racial Inequities, and he was looking to start a movement in Canton. My uncle went to my grandparents and they allowed them to see Mr. Raymond, and Mr. Raymond explained that he needed a place, and the Cottons agreed. George Raymond moved in shortly before the March on Washington in August of 1963. That's when Canton Freedom House was born. From there, the house became the operational headquarters for the CORE in the Madison County Civil Rights Movement. It was also the centralized location to help get Black people registered to vote. This is where they kept all the files. They had the phone over there where they could correspond with the different offices around. This house started off as a CORE house, but at some point in the early part of the movement, it transferred over and it was called the COF house too, because the SNCC and others joined forces together. At this point, that's when trouble began and tension grew. It was dangerous to be associated with this house. What would happen what would happen was we had different other organizations. We had the Council, the KKK, different ones, and they had a place where they could target the Cottons. The Cottons said words had gotten out to the segregationists about what the house was being used for. Someone had even talked to the Canton Police Department, and they would set out in front of the store and they would check out the tags that who was coming back and forth. The risk of just being in the house was a grave one. They attempted to burn it down several times. They threw cocktails at it. They had chicken wire so that when the cocktails were thrown at it, it would it would break the glass. The Cottons even recalled when trouble came to his grandparents' doorstep. I think it was latter part of 63 and 64. They tried to bomb the store. I was living with them at the time. I would have been dead if that dynamite would have exploded. It I would not have even been here to tell you this. So Mr. Cotton, if you want to read more about this, you can go and read this because he said he was one of the three. He said they was talking about the civil right, the riders that was there, and they were killed in the Philadelphia and Mississippi. And it goes on to talk about how the who was it, Fannie Lou Hammer, Victoria Gray, and it was from Anna Devine. They helped write the Voting Right Act of 1965, and it's they tell more about it. Like I said, I had written it down, but I just read it off the website. And how interesting, how interesting what we had to do to get the Civil Rights Act of 1965, and look what's happening now. Is history repeating itself? It took a lot of courage. It took a lot for people to come together. Like the nephew said, George said, you have to be brave to stand up for your rights with so much going on, with so many things being taken away, or with black people not being able to have a voice. And it looks almost like we're going back there where that's at. And speaking, just my opinion, just the way I feel about certain things. If they were brave enough back then to stick it out and to make sure things were passed, we got to stick it out now. Our ancestors, our family in the past really went through a lot and stood up and they did a lot to try to get us to where we're at now. And just a stroke of a pen is trying to take it back. But that's not going to happen because, see, even back then, as I stated before, we didn't have a lot to fight with. We have more to fight with now. We have, well, we're educated more. They're trying to stop that because privatization with school or whatever. They want to keep us in the dark. They're going on cutting out some of the, I guess, the news cast things or people that's talking against, and they're trying to make it where they're taking over the radio and everything because they only want you to know what they want you to know. Stay vigilant. Stay on it. Don't just think it's gonna go away. We really have to pay attention to really, really what's going on. And don't just listen to everything. You listen for yourself. Don't go by what I say. Don't go by what people say. Listen for yourself. Look for yourself because it's everywhere. And we just got to stay on this, and we got to like come together and stay together as a people, and just stay strong and know that God is watching over everything that's going on, everything that's happened. We're chosen. We are here for a reason. We're not just here to go back. Okay, we're here to move forward. If you think anybody needs to hear this, please share. I would really appreciate it. My subscriptions are constantly going up. I appreciate it. You guys are sharing more, commenting, you're liking, and that's good for me. I really do like to come on, and I do like to share what I am reading, what I'm doing, without trying to get too involved into certain things. But I am going to use my platform to get involved in certain things, if that makes sense to you. So thank you so much for joining me. My name is Jennifer Brooks. I am your Southern Belle. and I am on the right road now. You guys come on the road with me, okay? Y'all have a blessed night now. You hear? God bless.